So welcome back, everyone, to this is basically the last session of day one. So this session again is the impacts and challenges of climate change. So I'd like to briefly introduce the as an honorable session chair and co-chair. So we have Professor Dr. Dewan Abdul Qadir and Dr. Mohammad Ashfaqur Rahman moderating through us this session. So I'll not take any much time, just handing over the controls to both Dewan sir and also Ashfaq sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Saurabh. The last session with title Impacts of and Challenges of Climate Change. Climate Change 2 is now going to begin. There are six papers. And before we begin, I would request Ashfaq, Dr. Ashfaq, to say something. Unmute. Dr. Ashfaq, unmute.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So welcome everyone. Today we have very nice inauguration session and a lot of our interesting topics has been already discussed. Some of them we have already learned some new ideas in climate change impact. So in this session we have very interesting and latest research on climate change impact. So I would like to greet you everyone. Welcome to this session, and I think we can start. If Dr. Dewan Abdul Qadir sir, he said the name to start this session, the first speaker.
Thank you, Ashfaq. The first paper, the title of the first paper is Interannual Variation in Chlorophyll A and its relationship with Indian Ocean climate variabilities in the Northern Bay of Bengal. Very interesting title. I would request the presenter, Dr. Ashraful Muntahab of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Maritime University in Bangladesh to present his paper. 15 minutes.
Excuse me, sir. We have just learned that there are only two presenters here now, Afroza Sultana and Munuri Mujahid. So I think if Afroza Sultana, if you are available, you can start your topic and let's see about the others. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Afroza
Sultana from Bangladesh Meteorological Department. Are you available? Or
any presenter available from this section?
Munuri Mujahid. Afroza Sultana is available, but I think...
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Yes, please. Yeah, you can start. Another
Who's going
presenter
to
is
present? After Sultana
Mushfiq
or-
Miraz. Yeah. Mushfiq Miraz. Yeah.
Yes,
If you are
sir.
available.
I'm presented. I'm Habib Rahman Habib.
Okay.
Okay. Habib. Yeah. Okay, go ahead with your presentation.
Mr. Habibur Rahman Habib, you want to present?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Please start your presentation.
I can start my presentation.
Yeah. Yes. Please.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
To me, it's okay. Yeah.
My slide is visible.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Very good evening, everyone. Welcome to my presentation. My presentation on sea surface temperature anomalies in the Bay of Bengal from space since 1871 for climate position. I am MD Habib Rahman Habib, BS and MS, Department of Oceanography, University of Dhaka. The contents of this study: introduction, study area, materials and method, resultant discussion, and conclusion part. In the introduction part, I want to say ocean plays a vital role through providing not only food, shelter, medicine, but also gives our ecosystem service, such as 78% of animal biomass lives. Half of the world oxygen demand produced from the ocean, 92% heat absorbed from the atmosphere, and ocean absorb 30 to 50% of the carbon dioxide produced by the burning of fossil fuel, and it regulates the climate system. But ocean water temperature is not uniform all over the ocean. The ocean temperature high value found in the equator region, and the lowest value found in the polar region. That depends on the orientation, unequal distribution of water and land, length of the day, latitude, and oceanic currents, clear sky, and the earth distance from the sun, and the number of the sunspot. But the ocean temperature badly affected some factors such as greenhouse gas emission, anthropogenic causes. But what will be happen if the ocean water temperature increase? It will be affect sea level rise, rising ocean heat content, coral bleaching, and the melting of ocean, terminating glaciers and ice sheet surrounding the Greenland, Arctic, and Antarctic. The study area of the Bay of Bengal. The Bay of Bengal is the northern extended arm of the Indian Ocean, but it is located between the latitude of 5 to 22 north and longitude 80 to 100 degree east. The objective of the study to determine the sea surface temperature over the span of 100 to 40 years and to make climate position for the future. Materials and method, data collection to location Bay of Bengal, data monthly sea surface temperature data source Asia Pacific Data Research Center, time series over the span of 140 years from January 1871 to December 2010, data process through using the R programming and data analysis data and the Microsoft Excel. In the result part, here is given the annually sea surface temperature over the span of 140 years data extracted. Here is given the minimum temperature found in 1871, that is about 27 degrees Celsius, and the maximum temperature found in 2010, that is about 29 degrees Celsius, and the pairwise correlation factor, that is about 2.8347, which is indicated there be very good relationship between the two variables such as the time of the year and the sea surface temperature. Here is given to the two scenario of the Bay of Bengal sea surface temperature. In the low temperature 1871 and the highest temperature in 2010. In this true figure, deep red color is the high value and the violet color is the low value. Here is given to some reference studies. Here is they indicated that the worldwide ocean temperature increased by 0.1 degrees Celsius from the surface of a depth of 700 meters between the 1961 and 2003. But the focusing point of Antarctic southern ocean temperature increased by 0.17 degrees Celsius, which is the nearly twice from the world ocean temperature increased. The prediction sea surface temperature to be risen by 0.88 degrees Celsius and 0.6 degrees Celsius of the rise occurring between 1980 and 2020. If the ocean temperature is rising, that is big threat for the coral species. This process is known to coral bleaching. In this figure, you can see that the sea surface temperature below around the 1880 and 1900, but rest of the year the sea surface temperature has been increasing during the last 100 to 40 years, and the correlation to coefficient below that is 0.6967, which indicated the positive relationship between the two variable time of the year and the sea surface temperature. The conclusion part of my study, the sea surface temperature increased by 1.35 degrees Celsius between the 1871 and 2010, with the lowest value in 1871, that is about 27 degrees Celsius, and the highest value 90 degrees Celsius occurring in respectively. This study will be given importance for the implementation of the Paris Agreement, which purpose to combat climate change this century by keeping the global temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius and pursuing effect if efforts to reduce it to 1.5 degrees Celsius, and the Kyoto Protocol to reduction of greenhouse gas emission. The future sea surface temperature can be easily determined using the linear regression equation. I want to say that rolling area in the Bay of Bengal adjacent countries will be quite vulnerable, and some countries around the Asia, they are highly dense coastal population, like as Bangladesh, China, India, Indonesia, and Vietnam. They are very danger from the rising sea level. Reference. Thank you.
So I will invite questions to Habibur Rahman.
Sir, may I ask one small question?
Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Habib. I think it's really a nice study. So in your database, you have considered very long-term data series, more than 100 years. And it's cover and is the 2010. So
yes.
Last 12 years data, it is, and what is the grid resolution? Maybe I have missed. That is the one, a small query. And another is the, why last 10 years or 12 years data is not there?
No.
No, sir. That last from 2010 to 2020 years, those data are not available in the satellite.
Okay, I will ask one question. You just said satellite, but you have started from 1871. There was no satellite. Why you have not clarified? You should have clearly written.
Sir, this is a totally satellite-based data analysis, and this research is one part of my research study.
No, there was no satellite in 1871. Satellite has come in the 60s, early 60s.
Sir, sample data Argo based data, sir, in situ data, they are available in the Asia Pacific Data Research Center website. I got data from there.
No, you should not say from space, because at that time there was no space ship or any satellite. You understand me? Do you get my point?
No, sir.
Okay, you have said that Bay of Bengal data from Bay of Bengal from space. What do you mean by space?
Space means satellite. Satellite.
Yes, but there was no satellite in 1871.
Sir, some data in the Argo based data, Argo in situ data that are available to their
Well,
website.
Argos is also satellite. You don't say from space. You just omit this. You don't get it? Mohan, can you explain him?
Excuse me. Yeah,
Habib,
Sir,
okay. Yeah, is it sir has mentioned that you already agreed that all data are not from satellites. So you have to omit the word satellite. That's all right. That's all okay.
From space. Yeah, or
You
omit
got the point?
Yeah, from space. Yes.
modis terra data, but sample data also available to their website, Argo data and in situ data, they are provide me easily. I mailed them, they can provide it easily.
Yeah,
Oh,
excuse me.
that's
This
okay.
is not
That's
the
okay.
question of the data. This is the question of the instrument. We know that in 1871 there is no space to collect this data, spacecraft or satellite. It starts from 1970 or 60 at most. But you can say that there are some other instrument like the ships and cargo, whatever it is, but not from satellite. Okay, this data is not from satellite, not from space.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Argo
Yeah.
profiling plot. Their website, these data are available there, and their website I mailed to them, and they provide their those data into CDF file, and using the R programming, I extracted those data.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. You
Okay.
can speak in Bangla as well, because it's okay. But satellite data ঠিক আছে, কিন্তু it is not from 1871. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You're not getting our point. This data is okay.
Well, you have
some
got
other
the
thing.
data through internet or through satellite communication, but it does not mean that the data was collected via satellite, using satellite. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from our audience?
You should correct it. The Ashraful Muntahab is available now.
I think Mr. Mushfiq Miraz is the next presenter. What I got from the message just about.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. But before he starts, I want to say our audience, if any question regarding this, because we have less presenter than the schedule. So if you have any other question or comments, you can ask. If there is no, then we can go to the next presenter.
Yeah.
Okay, no? Yeah, I think Mr. Mushfiq Miraz. Yeah, you can start.
Okay, sir. Sir, can everyone see my slide?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I am MD Mushfiq Miraj, currently studying at Khulna University, Environmental Science discipline. Thank you, Chair, for giving me the opportunity to give presentations. I will give a presentations on climate change and riverbank shifting using GIS technology at upstream of Podda River, Bangladesh. Bangladesh is the locations of the all biggest delta, which is formed by the confluence of the Ganga, Brahmaputra, and Meghna river system. This is known as the GBM river system. This delta can be distinguished by its relatively flat landscape, which is intertwined with a network of nearly 700 river canals, streams that collectively stretch approximately 22,155 kilometers. The quantity of the alluvium deposit in the GBM delta, GBM valley is the all highest, calculated around 150 million tons, out of which 600 million tons are deposited on Bangladesh. Even though Bangladesh only contains 7% of the GBM delta, this country is responsible for draining out 92%, which is 1.7 trillion out of 1.8 trillion of total yearly flow. This is one of the primary factors which contributed many disasters like floods, riverbank erosions, and other natural hazards. As many of researchers have pointed out, that climate change will have a tremendous amount of impact on riverbank erosions, which I have given a framework here that developed by DMD Sadikur Rahman and Animesh Gai. They have identified that climatic parameter will have a tremendous amount of impact on riverbank erosion, which will result in a more vulnerable area and cause a tremendous amount of economic loss. This research tends to find out the significance of climatic parameter on riverbank erosion using historical data. For this study, I have chosen the upper portions of the Podda River. Although India holds the lion's share, about 80% of this water body, Bangladesh only contains 4.3%, which is comparable about 32% of yearly flow. And the average rainfall of this area receives around 1200 millimeter. Therefore, it is subject to subsequent floodings as identified by the Bangladesh Water Development Board. This area is one of the most vulnerable area in this part of the globe for riverbank erosion. Now the methods. GIS and remote sensing technology have been utilized for the pluvial geomorphological studies of this research. ArcGIS version 10.8 has been used for the satellite image processing. The satellite image data has been collected from the United States Geological Survey, that is USGS. The climatic data, temperature and rainfall for 3 stations has been collected from Bangladesh Meteorological Stations, BMD. Regression analysis has been conducted to find out the importance of those parameters, and Excel programming has been used for this regression analysis. Here I have shown the 3 stations which I have collected data that is Rajshahi, Ishordi, and Faridpur. I have shown the satellite image table here. I have collected from 1972 to 2020. The satellite number and the number of band from the USGS. You can see from the 1970 to 1980, there was the only 4 band of given in this in their website. In 1989, it was 5, and the 2000 to 2020, it was 7. So at the 1972, the image resolutions was not much of good like 2020. I have shown a picture of from 1977. It's a single band data picture I have shown here, and here are a couple of pictures of transforming this image to shape file. I have used the isocluster unsupervised classifications to find out the main streams of Podda River from the satellite image. Now the result sections. According to the findings of our studies, that the yearly temperature and the rainfall statistics have a upward trends, which have given by the many researchers, that they have suggested that the temperatures and the precipitations are increasing, and this study also supports their findings that it has an upward and increasing trend, which tends to associated with climate change. Now the satellite image processing, I have shown the unchanged area between 1972 to 2020. Here you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, the shapefile of between 1972 are given here. There is a comparison between 1972 and 1977 mainstream of Podda River, 1980, 1989, 2000, 2005, 2010, 2015, and 2020. So between 1972 and 2020, we can see, as the color assigned here, green represent the 2020 for the mainstream and the blue represent the 1972 for the mainstream. Those areas circulated in red has identified as the most vulnerable area for riverbank shifting. We can see that into 1972, these portions was flowing at downward, while in 2020 it has moved upward. So those areas, especially these areas, has completely altered. These portions has completely altered its course between 1972 to 2020. So those identified areas are one of the most vulnerable prone areas for riverbank shifting I have identified. Now come to the regression analysis. We have a regression analysis between erosions and accurations with the climatic parameter, temperature and rainfall. These table represent the regression between erosions. We can see the accurations has a p-value upward 0.043, which is very close to 0.05%. Suggests that there is a significant relationship between accurations and erosions, whereas the rainfall and temperature has a very high value than 0.05. In the accuration series sector, we can see those also to have a very high value than 0.05, which signifies that there is no relation between climate, rainfall and temperature with riverbank shifting, erosion and accuration data. As I have mentioned earlier in my problem statement sector, that most of the researchers has identified that climate change, climatic parameter will have a tremendous impact on riverbank erosion, but my findings suggest that there is a little relation between climatic parameter and the riverbank erosion and accurations. This can be caused, but this erosion and accuration can be caused by the anthropogenic activity, like for establishment of Farakka barrage. I have given the erosion and accurations between 1972 to 2020. We can see between 1972 to 1977, the erosion rate was much higher, which signifies that which can be explained by that the Farakka barrage has become operational in 1975. But between 1970 to 80, the accuration rate tends to move upward, which signifies that after the operation started the Farakka barrage, so the accuration rate tends to go higher, while erosion rate tends to move downward. Now in 2000 to 2010, we can see that erosion rate is much higher than the accuration rate, which can be explained by the number of flood, as between 2000 to 2010, there was 1980 flood, 2004, 2007, 2009 flood, which can be a reasonable factor for contributing to large rate of erosion rather than accuration. But between 2010 to 2020, we can see that the erosion has the accuration rate tends to move upward. So this signifies that maybe the erosion and accurations and riverbank shifting tends to do anthropogenic activity rather than climatic parameter, but that does not, we cannot absolutely sure that it's caused by the anthropogenic activity. More study is needed. Using discharge data is very crucial for this study, I believe, but this we cannot be absolutely sure about that the anthropogenic activity is the main cause of this type of behavioral change in the Podda River. Here are the references. Thank you, everyone. I myself, MD Mushfiq Miraj, two of my honorable teacher has guided me for this study. MD Riyad Hossain, Assistant Professor, Institute of Disaster Management, Khulna University of Engineering and Technology, and Rabia Sultana, Assistant Professor, Environmental Science Discipline. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mushfiq Miraj.
Yes, sir.
For your good, nice presentation. I will ask the audience for questions.
Sir, this is Shah Jahan Mondal. If you allow, I can ask.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, one question. I mean, the basis of the study linking river erosion and accretion with climatic parameters like temperature and rainfall is not very clear to me, because usually when we talk about river erosion and accretion, we usually do not link it with temperature, rain. Rather, we go for, say, hydromorphological factors. For example, sediment, then flow characteristics, sediment characteristics, even the shape characteristics, geology. So this sort of thing, but you are going beyond that. So the rationale is not clear to me. This is number one. Number two, when there is some trend in the data, if you have two sets of data, both having trend, then the regression analysis also is not valid. So my suggestion would be that you need to be aware of this thing, and you need to go through some literature in the relevant areas. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll consider your suggestions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Mondal. I also had the same idea, when he presented the paper. I found that the rationale of the work is missing, because the rainfall temperature, these climatic elements cannot be related with the river erosion. And his study clearly told us this fact, though we knew about it earlier, that this rainfall, only rainfall and temperature has nothing to do with it. Maybe the discharge and other factors, as Professor Mondal said, should be considered for this one.
Yes, sir. Sir, temperature has the tendency to increase rainfall, and rainfall have the tendency to increase the discharge value. So that's why I have considered that two climatic parameters.
You should take discharge, not the rainfall. Okay. Yeah. Rainfall as such cannot do a lot of, contribute a lot of erosion. But the discharge can, the flow pattern in the channel can affect, but not the rainfall as such. So any other comments on his paper? Or you can.
So if you allow, I would like to include one small question. Mushfiq, I think already you got some points from both the sides, so it will really improve your further study. So you have lots of opportunity to do that. So regarding the rainfall, you just consider 3 stations which are nearby your study locations.
Yes, sir.
You have collected from the Bangladesh Meteorological Department. In addition, there is some gridded system data. I think you also need to be aware if you really want to do that. And of course, you have to consider the discharge. In addition, you are able to do others. So I think discharge data you can get from the water board, right?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
I'm working on the discharge data. So I'm working to explore these sections up to this mark.
Okay. So I think that will be good. So it will be a good study then. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mushfiq, you should consult the hydrologists or water engineers, those who are involved with such work, so that will improve your ideas. Any question? Any more question to him? No, nothing.
Okay. If there is no further questions, we can go for the next presentation. Next presenter is Afroza Sultana from BMD. Are you available?
Yes, sir. I'm available.
So the title of the paper, Analysis of Climatology of Cold wave variation and its possible mechanism over Rangpur region in Bangladesh. So this is the title of our paper. So Afroza Sultana, please go ahead with your presentation.
My screen is available.
Yes.
Yes, available. Yeah. If you want to go for the view, then you can slideshow you. First one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, slideshow first option. You can touch. Yeah. F5 or first option. Yeah, this one.
Thank you, sir, for giving me a chance. Respected chair, co-chair, and dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Afroza Sultana. My presentation topics is analysis of climatology of cold wave variation and its possible mechanism over Rangpur region. Outline of the presentation, background, data and methodology, result and discussion, and final conclusion. Background: in winter season, temperature fall down sharply in the north and northwestern part of Bangladesh. Winter is the coldest season of the year across Bangladesh, especially in the north and northwestern part. That's why I select the Rangpur region. Rangpur is situated in the northern part of Bangladesh. When the ridge of subcontinental high pressure extends up to northwestern part of Bangladesh, temperature begins to fall over Bangladesh. Colder situation gives a great impact in various fields of living bodies such as agriculture, human, livestock, etc. Different kind of meteorological phenomena occurs in our country, such as heat wave, cold wave, flood, and Rangpur is the very much affected region of heat wave, cold wave, and flood. The highest increment of minimum temperature per year is 0.3 degrees centigrade is found at Dhaka, Madaripur, Faridpur, Majdikot, Coxbazar, Silet, Srimangal, Rangpur, and Bhula. It is collected by Khatun's paper. Objectives of the study: to find out the trend as well as the rate of extremity of maximum and minimum temperature under the condition of maximum temperature is less than 25 degrees centigrade and minimum temperature is less than 15 degrees centigrade for the 19th percentile, and maximum temperature of 20 degrees centigrade and minimum temperature of 12.5 degrees centigrade for 15th percentile, and minimum temperature is 15 degrees centigrade less or equal, and the cold wave condition for minimum temperature is less than or equal 10 degrees centigrade at Rangpur during 1981 to 2021. To analyze the variation and length of winter season with maximum temperature less than 25 degrees centigrade and minimum temperature 15 degrees centigrade for 19th percentile, and maximum temperature less than 20 degrees centigrade and minimum temperature 12 degrees centigrade for 95 percentile. Minimum temperature 15 degrees centigrade, and the cold wave condition for minimum temperature get less than or equal 10 degrees centigrade at Rangpur region during 1981 to 21. To detect the deviation of winter season from normal date of onset, which has been defined as 15th November. 15th November are selected for normal because most of year winter started 15th December in our country. To see the atmospheric condition, mean sea level, pressure, and surface wind analyze which are the main factor for winter season of Bangladesh and neighboring countries. Data and meteorology. Maximum and minimum temperature data are collected from Bangladesh Meteorological Division at Rangpur Station during 1981 to 2021. The cold wave days are considered when minimum temperature persists 10 degrees or less. This is the definition of cold wave occur by Meteorological Department of Bangladesh. The presence of extreme wind defined by the considering the day with maximum temperature less than 20 degrees and minimum temperature less than 12.5 degrees centigrade jointly. The presence and duration of winter season, maximum temperature less than 25 degrees centigrade and minimum temperature less than 15 degrees centigrade considered jointly. Mean sea level pressure and surface wind are analyzed the NCEP reanalysis data using software is R and Excel. Man-Kendall test. Man-Kendall test is a non-parametric test for identifying the trend and significance. It is positive trend or negative trend in time series. Sense-slope estimator is a non-parametric procedure for estimating the magnitude of a time series trend. If Man-Kendall test show the trend, then we calculate the magnitude by sense-slope estimator. Regression analysis. Linear regression analysis is the most common method to detect the pattern of a time series by fitting a linear regression equation to observe data. This model established a relationship between the two variables, dependent and independent. Here, dependent variable is cold days and independent variable is year. The correlation coefficient value plus minus 1 indicates a good match. A value is close to 0 indicates the variable have a random or non-linear relationship. Result and discussion. Trend and magnitude of the frequency of different categories of temperature at Rangpur region using Man-Kendall and sense-slope test. For minimum temperature less than or equal to 15 degrees centigrade, Man-Kendall test see the it's a negative trend, and the magnitude is minus 3.88 degrees centigrade, 88 days, and it is significantly decreasing trend. And for cold wave, minimum temperature less than or equal to 10 degrees centigrade, it is a decreasing trend, and the magnitude of minus 1.355 days, and it is decreasing trend but insignificantly. And the winter season maximum temperature is less than or equal to 25 degrees centigrade, or minimum temperature is less than or equal to 15 degrees centigrade is it show decreasing trend, and the magnitude is 1.31 per day per year, and it is decreasing and significantly insignificant at 95% level of significance. And the extreme winter maximum temperature is less than or equal to 20 degrees centigrade, and minimum temperature is less than or equal to 12.5 degrees centigrade is increasing trend, which is 0.15, and the magnitude is 1.37 days per year, and this trend is insignificant. The variation of the number of cold wave days here. It is shown that the lowest year of minimum temperature is 2028 to 29, and the highest of the minimum temperature is 1982 to 1983. Correlation coefficient is minus 0.57, and the decreasing rate is minus 0.37. For cold wave days with minimum temperature less than or equal to 10 degrees centigrade, the lowest number of cold wave days is 1, which year is 2008 to 2009. The correlation coefficient is minus 0.231. The rate of decrement is 0.164 days per year. Winter season for maximum temperature is 25 degrees centigrade or less, and minimum temperature 15 degrees centigrade or less. The correlation coefficient is minus 0.2645. The rate of decrement is 0.249 days per year. The extreme winter, the correlation coefficient is minus 0.2645, and the extreme winter increasing trend with the rate of 0.085 days per year. The highest extreme winter occurs in 18 days in 2003 to 2004, and no extreme winter days occur in 1981 to 1982, 1987 to 1988, 2001 to 2002, 2007 to 2008, and 2017 to 2018. Length of winter season based on maximum temperature 25 degrees centigrade or less, and minimum temperature 15 degrees centigrade or less. For maximum temperature, the length of winter season follows decreasing trend with the rate of minus 0.082 degrees centigrade. The maximum continuation of winter season under this condition is 72 days, which happened in 1984 to 1985. The correlation coefficient of this condition is minus 0.089. The deviation of winter from 15 December follows decreasing trend with decrement is 0.0816 days per year. Extreme winter come before 14 days in 1982 to 1983, and it started to delay 14 days in 1995 to 1996, 2003 to 2024, and then 2017 to 2018 on 15 December at Rangpur. Wind analysis for delaying
Excuse me, we are not hearing.
At 1000 SPA level, we see that in West Central India West Central India have a cyclonic circulation, and at the same time North Bay have a cyclonic circulation. That's why in 2003 2003 is 2003 is the delay for winter coming, and the same reason for 2017 in a not 2017 in northwest bay have a cyclonic circulation. That's why winter season comes delay. And this is the mean sea level pressure for 2003 and 2017. We see that a low pressure area has formed over northwest bay. That's the reason for winter comes timely. This is the wind analysis for winter comes fastly or faster or earlier, because in there is a seasonal low over south bay and anticyclonic circulation over northwest central India. That's why wind comes from Bangladesh northern part. That's why winter comes in earlier in Bangladesh. In 1981, there is a high pressure region in northeastern part of India, and in 2014, the high pressure area was India. That's why winter comes earlier. And conclusion, Rangpur region follows decreasing trend of minimum temperature 15 degree or less, with the decrement rate minus 0.38 days per year. Deviation of winter from 15 December with maximum temperature of 15 degrees centigrade or less and minimum temperature 15 degrees centigrade or less in winter season follows a decreasing trend of 0.0816 days per year. The extreme winter have an increasing trend with the rate of 0.085 days per year. In the winter season, the central high pressure lies over northwestern part of India, and from this high pressure, a stream of cold air flow eastwards, and that enter the country through its northeast corner by changing its course clockwise, and it initiate the colder situation over Bangladesh. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, Afroza Sultana, for your presentation. Now I will request questions from the audience.
If you allow, I can ask one question.
Yes, please.
Afroza Sultana seemed to be a little, nervous. So to encourage her that your work is very nice, but you need to be a bit more confident while you make the presentation. I have just a small query, though I'm not the relevant person for that. You have picked 15th December as the start date of the winter, if I understood properly. And the basis of this 15th December is not very clear to me, because in some other documents, for example, National Water Management Plan or the document, Climate Change Cell or CDMP document, it is actually 1st December is considered as the winter season. So if you can tell me the basis of this selection, if I understood clearly. Even your co-author can respond.
Thank you, sir, for your query. If you allow me, then I can try to answer you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, in Bangladesh, not only in Bangladesh, even in northern part of the northern hemisphere, winter season normally starts from 1st December and been continuing up to February. But in the recent time, what we found that feeling of winter is not exactly on the 1st December. It might have different period, and some other reasons are there, because some other meteorological factors are working on it, and accordingly it has been influenced not to come to December, or not to come to winter season as in the 1st December date. In this process, actually, we have been trying why it has been late, and when it could be the starting period of winter over, particularly over Rangpur region, because one of our stations are locating over there, and one of my junior colleagues from that places are very much interested to have this information. When do the winter will come, and how it is behaving over Rangpur region, because he has to face many media people. He has to face many queries over that area, like some NGO and international NGOs up there. So in that process, we have been discussing that let us have some data from collected from Rangpur location in the earlier period. Interestingly, Rangpur station have the long periodic data from 1948 to onward. So we have been trying to understand what are the things are there, how temperature is behaving, only minimum temperature or any other factors are lying for the starting declaration of the winter over that area. So in that case, we have analyzed two aspects. One is let's have the temperature feelings like minimum temperature. As it has to be unusual to some extent, then people will feel the temperature, and accordingly they will tell that yes, it is the cold season now, or it's the winter season now. Then we have been trying to find out that yes, it might be the 90th percentile. Let us have a look on the 90th percentile value of the minimum temperature. We find that it is the 12.5 degrees Celsius. And if it is slightly higher percentile value like 80 or it can be 80 value, we found that 15 degrees Celsius. So we have the record from the local observation from that particular offices as well as with the data. We are consulting with that one. And accordingly, we found that once the temperature goes below 15 degrees Celsius, as well as the maximum temperature lies below 25 degrees Celsius, people of that locality start to feel that low temperature, but they are not so much curious about that one. But what we found that once it has been set to 90th percentile value, like 12.5 degrees Celsius, people are starting feeling cold situation. That means they are trying to say that now cold or winter season has come. In that process, we found that in some years, even in 15 December or it's a little bit delay also, the 12.5 degrees Celsius are being recorded over Rangpur region, and accordingly we can set it as a winter over that area. But it's not a national way. We have been trying to say that when do people will feel that that means low temperature, and accordingly they will tell that yes, it's a cold or winter season. And you might be knowing that around northwestern part of Bangladesh is very much susceptible for low temperature also. And once the temperature goes down even 10 degrees Celsius and it's below, and it has been continued for 3 days or more, and it has the good coverage over the around as a scale of 1000 square kilometers, then we have been declaring as a cold wave situation. This sort of definition is always everywhere in every national met services like Bangladesh Meteorological Department. So that's why in that way, by considering the 12.5 degrees Celsius, when people of that locality are started to feel the cold temperature or low temperature or started to feel the winter, that can be as a, that means declaration point or as a feeling point of a low temperature, so that local people can tell that yes, now temperature will go up to 12.5 degrees Celsius and maximum temperature to below than 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, now the winter season can be declared over that particular area, and people will start to feel low temperature. Accordingly, they will be needing the warm clothes itself for remedial aspects. So in that way, it has been trying. Let's see how it has been coming. So we have found that in some years, winters are coming little early also, but in the recent time, what we found that winters are coming in the little late also, even it can be 10 to 15 days further delay also. So that's why what we found that even this year also, you see, now even people of that area are, as the temperature doesn't go below 12.5 degrees Celsius, people of that area are feeling low temperature, but it cannot be declared as a, that means winter. In that way, you can see. And I can give you one more example, like you see in the northwestern part of Bangladesh, extreme northwestern, but that is one station we have, Tetulia, their temperature is now 12.5, 12.0 degrees Celsius. Of that locality, people are feeling that yes, it's a winter season already going on. Even in November, they were trying to say that winter season is we are having, but you people are not trying to say that like this. But my query is, if we get the data of that locality, like that decided it say at 90th value, it might be around 10 degrees Celsius or low. That means an unusual temperature can be declared when the temperature value lying 90th percentile value in a lower ordering way, so that people will feel the cold situation or winter situation. So this way we have been trying to understand when the cold season are coming over that area, and when the when it can be saying that yes, now winter season is maybe after 5 days winter season will start, or people will feel more that means cold season over that particular area. In the second part of her presentation, she has been trying to saying that why the that means the cold surges are being delayed, why it has been coming in early also. So actually she has been pointed out two aspects. One is that is called sub-Himalayan anticyclonic flow, which has been that means what is called generating by a cyclonic flow over the Bay of Bengal. That means if any cyclonic flow over the Bay of Bengal is there, and immediately if any that means anticyclonic flow located over the Indian territory like West Bengal or Bihar, so both of these systems are once coupled, there is the provision for northwesterly current from the upstream, or I would say from higher latitude to northwestern part of Bangladesh. During that period, the cold surges are becoming dominant over that particular year. These two aspects actually has been trying through this process. But of course, your comment is very valid. She could not explain it properly. I think further revision is very much required from you, from her side. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I see that there is a, people basis, no? How people feel.
Yeah. That is what, sir. That is what. Not necessarily declaring like this.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Mondal, and also Dr. Panna for clarification. And question was very logical, and answers have also could, I think, clear the situation. So any more question? I think this paper is a very nice paper, but the presentation was there was some difficulty. Maybe she was not much ready for that presentation, or for some reason he was shattered, he was scaring. But the study is good. I think Dr. Mannan and other authors, if they concentrate, they can make a very, very good paper out of this analysis. So if there is no question, we can go for.
If you allow just a small query related to the cold wave definition. So if you allow, I just want to ask.
If you can.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Define. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, as you told, the study is really tremendous. It's actually lots of work, it compact together. So as per the definition, yes, sir.
Has already been defined.
Yeah, so as per the BMD, it is 6 degrees, 6 to 8, 8 to, and then more than 10 or about 10 to 12, some categories, moderate, low, severity. Yeah. So what is the basis of this? This one. Second is if some area there is a 10 degree or in between 10 to 12 degrees Celsius persists. So, but the feeling is not similar to some other region. So only temperature would be a standalone criteria, or there should be some other criteria. That's one my concern. Another is the climatic trend analysis with one specific region, which is only available in Rangpur district division. So is it really needed to incorporate some other graded data or something within the area? So I think that will be some good and acceptable study to publish in a journal. So that two simple asks to the author or co-author, please. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mohan, for your query. Actually, you might be knowing that Bangladesh is a very small country. If we declare a cold wave situation over Rangpur near to Gaibandha, it might not work very well. That is one problem from our side, from BMD side. Second thing, the temperature, what it has already been declared. It has been said through my studies in different places. Even in the evening afternoon presentation, I have also explained the temperature which has been selected based on some criteria, though it has not been explained many places. Actually, the cold wave, it must be an unusual situation. So how this unusual extreme cold feeling temperature, if it is lying by I would say that as per the lowering order, it is 99 percentile. That means minimum temperature if lies 99 percentile and it's below, that means up to 100 percentile. As per the lowering order, it can be declared as a very cold wave situation over any area, not in Bangladesh, at other places also. Similarly, the classification has been done, but what we found that it is being declared based on the 90th percentile value. That means 90th percentile value is the decision of cold wave situation. But if you calculate Gaibandha, Rangpur, Dinajpur, Soitpur, there must be some differences. These differences might be not more than 0.5 to 6 degree. I can give you one example. In the case of Dhaka, we are calling it a heat wave condition. Through calculation, I found that temperature is this 90th percentile value is 35.9 degrees Celsius. But you might be knowing that if I declare 30.9, our general people may not be take it in a proper way. That's why once the temperature is 36 degrees and it's above, it has been declared as a heat wave situation. Similarly, in the case of cold wave situation, it has been declared. But once BMD from operational point of view, it has been declared, it has to be considered at least 3 points. That means temperature, low temperature should be continue at least for 3 days. And it has to be a quite wide area. As of my understanding, it is 100 1000 square kilometer, like, sorry, 10,000 square kilometer. This must of coverage should be there. And again, one more criteria is there. It must be below than normal by at least 2 degrees Celsius. That means the area which are feeling temperature as there, but at that period, the temperature definitely must have to go below than normal of 2 degrees Celsius. These 3 criteria are being maintained. And your second query is, you are very interesting. BMD have now graded data. We have reanalysis graded data based on some satellite data and some other data, as well as BMD observed data, and that is 0.05 degree resolution. Of course, if we utilize that one, it will be good enough to proceed for publication. But one thing is important. Once you have the observation data from different sources and merge it and make a grid data of all of this data, the maximum value and the lowest minimum value will be merging of that area. That means maximum value will be reducing and lowest minimum value will be upgrading.
I think he is not audible.
Yeah, I think. Thank you for your nice answer.
If
Thank you, sir. For
other presenters are available now, let them come up and introduce themselves so that we can go further ahead.
I think no more presenter now because I got the message. Yeah.
No more presenter?
Yeah, there is nobody else. So yeah, we have already finished the session.
Mr. Saurabh, I will request you to read the abstract for those papers who are not present.
Oh, okay, sir. Sure, sir.
The first paper by Ashraful Wahab, interannual variation of chlorophyll A and its relationship with Indian Ocean climate variabilities in the northern Bay of Bengal. So it was not presented, so I will request.
Sorry, I have been disconnected. I think I have given the reply.
Yes, Dr. Abdul Manan, we got your point. Yeah.
Sir, I'd like to continue on behalf of Mr. Ashraful Muntahab. So his title was Interannual Variation in Chlorophyll A and its Relationship with Indian Ocean Climate Variabilities in the Northern Bay of Bengal. So in his abstract, he wrote that chlorophyll A concentration in the Northern Bay of Bengal shows variations from surface to subsurface, zone to zone, and even with time. Chlorophyll A concentration positively correlates with primary production in the ocean. The variation in oceanic chlorophyll A has been studied on a geographical, seasonal, and interannual basis. Many researchers investigated the relationship between chlorophyll A and environmental forces, physical or chemical, on a global or regional scale. Only a few studies have looked at the combined effect of physicochemical forcing on chlorophyll A. Hence, this study investigates a comprehensive basin-wide framework of the interannual variations in the chlorophyll A concentration and their possible physiochemical forcing and Indian Ocean dipole. Geospatial mapping and statistical analysis were used to understand the relationship between interannual variation in chlorophyll A and their physiochemical forcing. Temperature, salinity, current velocity, nitrate, phosphate, silicate, dissolved oxygen, and iron data were used in the analysis as possible forcing factors. The Indian Ocean dipole is a physical process that influences chlorophyll A variation by enforcing the surrounding forcing. Chlorophyll A shows an increasing trend with 0.007 milligram per meter cube per year in Northern Bay of Bengal for a period of 10 years. From 2011 to 2020. The nutrient upwelling in the northeastern coastal region caused by Ekman pumping may have influenced this rise. The interannual variation of temperature in subsurface shows a negative correlation with chlorophyll layer variation. While there is a positive correlation with the surface layer, this indicates that the effect of sea surface temperature is weak, as high nutrients are seen to influence the chlorophyll layer levels to rise. In 2016, a strong negative IOD was observed, while in 2019, a strong positive IOD occurred. These events have an effect on the interannual variation of chlorophyll layer by slowing and speeding up the increase respectively. So that was Ashraful Muntahab. The next one we didn't get is Munuri Mujahid. His title was Impacts of Climate Change on Public Health in Bangladesh. So for his research, he wrote the abstract as Bangladesh is the most threatened and vulnerable on climate change issues. Because of its geographic location, it has already started experiencing the effects of climate change on public health. The objective of this study is to determine how public health of Bangladesh has been affected by climate change. In recent years, the rapid emergences of climate change in Bangladesh have been threatening public health, along with poverty, inequity, infectious and non-communicable diseases. This study is based on relevant literature on climate change and public health issues. In Bangladesh, temperature-related illness, food, water, and vector-borne infections are the mostly experienced health impacts that are caused by climate change. Comparing with other developing countries, greenhouse gas emission rate is quite modest in Bangladesh. However, human health issues are at risk because of climate change issues. If effective steps are not taken immediately addressing the consequences of climate change, Bangladesh will have to be prepared to high price in terms of productivity and human lives. Okay, so I think I have one more to go through. That's for Mr. Jaber bin Abdul Bari. So his title was Assessing the Impact of Climate Change on the Coastal Aquaculture Ponds in Noakhali, Bangladesh. So his abstract is climate change has brought concerns to the marine and freshwater ecosystems and the survival of species by changing physiological processes and the structure of food webs. Bangladesh is no exception, and the changing climate has already begun to take its toll. The frequent cyclone and rising temperature has created a challenging condition for the aquaculture sector in Bangladesh. Noakhali, being a coastal district, is at a high risk of saltwater intrusion, temperature fluctuations that ultimately results in the poor aquaculture production. Phytoplankton are microscopic organisms constitutes the base of an aquatic ecosystem by transferring food and energy to the higher trophic levels. Additionally, phytoplankton's assemblages on lentic and lotic ecosystems directly impact the productivity and have a vital influence on sustainable aquaculture. However, climate change results in extreme temperature in the coastal regions have resulted in plankton bloom and fluctuation in physiochemical parameters. Therefore, the present study was conducted to evaluate the current status of aquaculture ponds in the Noakhali district to better understand the potentiality of coastal aquaculture in this area. Phytoplankton samples were collected from the surface layer of the water body through plankton net with a mesh size of 20 micrometers and preserved in a 250 milliliter plastic container with 5% formaldehyde. Phytoplankton were identified at a 16 by 10 and 16 by 40 magnification using a light microscopic in sage wick rafter plankton counting cell. Numerous phytoplankton groups include chlorophyta, cyanophyta. I think that's, pardon me, that's not even my scope. Bacillariophyta, Euglenophyta were identified. The dominance of chlorophyta species is in the study indicate moderate to high productive environment for aquaculture. The study also emphasizes the importance of coastal aquaculture and suggested meticulous actions for future development. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Shubha. we had 6 papers submitted, out of which 3 were presented by the presenters. And so our success is 50%. So yeah, the people are very tired at this late hours, so there is nothing to do. I congratulate those who have presented the papers. The other papers on phytoplankton and this and that were also very important and had a new flavor, not only climate change, but something else, some oceanographic parameters are also brought in. I think we can conclude. Before concluding, I will ask Ashfaq to say something.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, it was very interesting topic today, and we're at end of the today's all the sessions, and we have learned a lot of things today in the beginning, and it was very exciting day for us. So we hope that tomorrow we will have another technical sessions, and we can enjoy those sessions. And I would like to congratulate all of you, especially the presenters, and wish very good future with our climate change themes. Thank you all. Good night. Thank you.
So here I declare the session concluded. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Professor Dr. Dayan Abdul Qadir sir, and also Dr. Mohammad Ashfaqur Rahman sir for nicely handling the session. So that actually concludes the activities of day 1 for International Conference on Climate Change. So I'm just going through the day. It was a very monumental day for us, especially just for the reason that we had Professor Petri Talas talking for us on behalf of WMO, and the inaugural session was it was a great success with having all the guests, and also the Honorable Chair was the Honorable Vice Chancellor to Dhaka University, Professor Dr. Mohammad Akhtaruzzahman sir. And it was a nice beginning, and after that we had 3 technical sessions, beg your pardon, 3 technical sessions with 2 topics, covering 2 topics. One was the climate extremes, and the other was the impacts and challenges of climate change. So we were scheduled to have 20 presentations. We got 17, so that's a good number actually. So that actually wraps up the day 1's activity for us at the conference, but we are hopeful that we would have everyone tomorrow throughout the day, because tomorrow is actually, we will have most of our papers. We are scheduled to have actually 27 papers across 4 technical sessions throughout the day. And so I'd like to thank all the participants, all the honorable session chairs and co-chairs, especially the guests, because I can see that Dr. Mohan Kumar Das sir and also Dr. Hideki Kamimura's son is with us throughout the day, and also Professor Tetsuya Takemi he actually is with us since morning, because he was, if you remember, he's the keynote speaker in the inaugural session, and also Dr. Someshwar Das sir and Professor Toru Terao sir and Dr. Milind Mujumdar sir, and also Dr. Mohammad Shahjahan Mandal sir and Dr. Mohammad Abdul Manan sir. So it's from the conference secretariat. It was a great day, and we wish to have you all. Some of you have presentations tomorrow, some of you have session to conduct tomorrow. So from us, it's a wrap for today, but we want to end the day with, like I said, it was a monumental day for us. So only the fact that we have the participation from WMO is the first time we're having participations from WMO. So with permission from the Honorable Convener, Professor Dr. Tawhid Madam, I'd like to finish the day with the speech of Professor Petri Talas from WM.
Greetings from World Meteorological Organization in Geneva, and thanks for the invitation to address you in Dhaka, where you are having the International Climate Conference. We are grateful that you organized this meeting, and it's very important topic that you are dealing with. From WMO's side, we are grateful for the work that you are doing to promote science, and WMO is also a scientific and technical organization, and we are also promoting very much climate related science and also meteorological services and also the status of global water resources. And of course, we are also the host agency of IPCC and the founding father of IPCC. We are just coming out of COP27, which was hosted by Egypt in Sharm el-Sheikh during the past 2 weeks. And from there, we didn't get any major steps forward in climate mitigation, but they paid lots of attention to climate adaptation. And one of the main issues that WMO was promoting there was to get support for our major initiative to improve the global basic observing systems on weather and climate, and also hydrology, and also to promote improvement of early warning services at our member countries. Only half of our 193 members have proper early warning services in place, and that means that when high impact weather event hits them, both the human losses and economic losses are much higher. And we got the blessing for $3.1 billion investment during the coming 5 years to improve the situation, so that by the end of 27, all of members would have access to early warning services. And there's also need for academic education and research to achieve this, and especially in less developed countries, we have a major lack of expertise, and the work that you are doing at Dhaka and also other academic universities and institutions, that's highly important for that. Then we were also promoting a new way of monitoring the status of greenhouse gas budgets, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. And there are big uncertainties related to, for example, the terrestrial sink of carbon dioxide. And also, we don't know the sources of methane too well. We just reported that we have seen biggest annual increase of methane concentration since '83 last year, and the reason for that is a bit unknown. And we are proposing to create a system where we use ground-based stations, global atmosphere watch stations of WMO satellites from China, Japan, USA, and soon European ones, and also modeling and assimilation tools to simulate what's happening in real atmosphere to sources and sinks of those three gases. Then we have also a dream to improve our climate modeling activities. At the moment, for example, the IPCC model runs are based on models where the resolution is 20 to 30 kilometers, and that's a challenge how to describe the physics of clouds and also rainfall, melting of glaciers, for example, and extreme weather events with such a resolution. And we have a dream to create a modeling center where we would be able to go to kilometer scale climate modeling, and that would enhance how we simulate the rainfall, flooding, drought, extreme weather events, and melting of, for example, Antarctic glacier, which are big unknowns in climate science. And this glacier melting and sea level rise game we have already lost because of already high concentration of carbon dioxide, and that's bad news for countries like Bangladesh. And also the melting of mountain glaciers is a challenge when it comes to availability of freshwater resources for main rivers. For example, the Himalayan glacier, which is close to you, is having big impact in China, India, your country, Vietnam, and several other parts of Asia. And therefore, WMO has started publishing new water reports, and we will soon come out with the first report. And the impacts of climate change, they are very much felt through water, and also this glacier melting is one component there. But all in all, thanks for organizing this meeting, and all the climate science-related issues. They are very hot topics at the moment, although we have some other challenges. But that's climate change is the biggest challenge for the welfare of mankind this century, and success in mitigation is crucially needed. But also means to adapt to negative impacts of climate change, they are needed. And from our side, we are promoting both, and the scientific results that you're dealing with, they are also strong messages for the global community to enhance the ambition level of climate mitigation. With these words, thanks for the opportunity to address you, and I'm looking forward to meet you face to face one day. Thank you.
Hello, Shubho. I'd like to say something.
Sure, ma'am. Go ahead.
Please.
Actually, I'd like to thank to Shubho for conducting this, technical sessions. And of course, I should thank to all chairs and co-chairs who are, conducting who have conducted 3 technical sessions from, I think for the last, few hours, and without your, help, the program couldn't be completed. So for day 1, I'd like to say thanks to all presenters as well. So thank you. And for day 1, I think we should conclude this session, and thank you all for joining. And I hope tomorrow you will be joining with this, with all technical sessions, which will be held on day 2. So thank you all. Good night. Actually, I just reached home, so thank you.